Hello, everyone. I'm Cheldin Barlatt Rumer, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. I told you that I am interviewing and meeting the most amazing people, and I'm going to continue from coast to coast to invite you to join us and meet all of our new friends. And today is no different. I have met a wonderful, wonderful woman. How are you, darling?
Hi, sweetie. How are you? So good to see you.
Oh, so good to see you. So good to see you. And so, again, everybody knows that my aunt lives in California. She's the furthest from all of us. And she has been watching This Is It TV. And she said, Cheldin, I have some ladies for you. I have some people that you need to meet. And she connected me directly to you. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I love being out here with you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so give us your first and last name, your title, and the name of your business.
Absolutely. So, hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Anita Jackson. I am the founder and CEO of the Unlimited Woman Alliance, where we build partnerships and community and helping women around the world take their life to the next level in life, business, and wealth.
Life, business, and wealth. The total package, right?
The total package.
And it's, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, and with that, I'm the publisher of Unlimited Woman magazine. So we're very excited about that. Our new magazine, I'll show you guys that later. And I'm best-selling author of 3 books and best-selling co-author of 6 other books. I've been a part of 9 books. And we are making a global impact to heal the hearts and minds of women around the world. And I am so honored to be here with you. I love this t-shirt in the back. Let's see.
Right, exactly. There is no choice. No longer do we whisper our wishes, we scream our dreams, and you are doing just that. I mean, participating in 9 books, there's radio, there's television. I love a good media mogul. I'm right there with you, and just being able to figure out how to be able to communicate best with your ideal market, which is women, right? And you're not even saying women in California. You're not saying women in the United States. This is a global initiative. Why was it important for you to meet them in so many different mediums? Again, you're an author, you're on television, you're on radio. Why was it so important to hit them in as many different mediums as possible?
That's a fantastic question. What you don't know is I have a background formally as a marriage and family therapist, so psychotherapy. Did that for 26 years. And I have a background as an organizational psychologist. So I basically hit the psychology spectrum from personal success, development, and mastery to business and entrepreneurial success, development and mastery. And then in 2011, I got laid off from my state job. And that sent my life in a whole whirlwind of crazy, as you can imagine, going from being paid high 6 figures to being broke.
Right.
Losing everything.
Oh, I know.
In the losing of everything that I fell into the entrepreneurial coaching world. Right. And once I got into the coaching world, the coaching world is interesting and fascinating to me because it doesn't seem to have a rhythm like psychology. In psychology, there are step-by-step procedures that we have to follow in working with the client, especially when it comes to insurance or it comes to some sort of mental health issue. There are protocols that we have to follow. Right. So my little mind gets into the entrepreneurial world and says, wow, everything is kind of all willy-nilly. That nothing seems to make any kind of clear sense to me at the time. Right. And so the one thing I kept hearing that really activated me getting into all these different multimedia spaces was you have to have a blog. And I'm like, well, what's a blog? I thought that was the ugliest name ever. That's what's a blog? I don't understand. So when someone says, oh, it's a newsletter, and my thinking is everyone is writing a blog or writing a newsletter. Well, I want to stand out, so I'm going to do a magazine. So that's really how it started. I started off, my first magazine was I Am Enough. You can actually go on to the platform issue, issuu.com. And type in I'm Enough magazine, and you'll see several issues there. We don't do that magazine anymore. We have a new magazine now, The Unlimited Woman. And that magazine, I actually started on a college campus. I started writing magazines for the college campus, and then that basically created the bug. And then I'm Enough magazine was released, and then from there we started to hear more about you need to do a podcast. So then I decided, okay, if I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to do a whole radio show. So it just kind of one door led to the next, and people kept opening up more doors. The next thing I know, I started to be called by my friends and by my clients that I was a mini Oprah. So now I have my own online network, Inspired Media Network, which handles TV, radio, podcast. We have a magazine. We have a publishing company, AMJ Productions and Publications. We've done several magazines now. We have several books that we've published now. We have several TV shows and radio shows that we publish now. We're going into more this coming year. Eventually we're going to do movies and stuff. So after that, I realized this is what I love. I love communicating, because you have to have your message in different platforms, and if you're going to make a global impact. If you're not interested in global, then maybe it's okay.
Right. Exactly.
But if you're global, you have to have different mediums to get your message out to the world.
Understood. So it was important. It was important not only for you to identify your larger goal, which is to be in that global space. You already knew that you wanted to help women, and you already knew that you were a woman of transition, right? We call it the pivot. You know what I mean? Something happens to you, and then you have to be able to make some decisions. And one of those decisions was you becoming an entrepreneur and kind of, getting yourself back to where you need to be by finding this voice, which I think is amazing. And then where to put that voice, right? And knowing that there's so many different options out there, why not do them all? Why not do them all?
You said something very powerful here, because I have to tell you, I resisted the entrepreneurial world at first because I wanted to go back to something that was safe and secure. Going back to a job that was something I can quote unquote depend on. So I resisted it, and God in his loving infinite wisdom said, that door is closed. I remember telling someone, I applied for 367 jobs and I didn't get a single interview. And I'm highly qualified for all of these jobs, and I didn't get one. So obviously I had to finally make a decision. That word, when you said decision, I said, that's the key.
That is the key.
Decision basically means to reach a definite conclusion. That's the definition, to reach a definite conclusion. In this society, you're really going to step into entrepreneurship. That's when things start to align and doors start to open, because you have a mind, body, soul alignment that says yes to that dream. And the dream in me was so big, I didn't realize that I wasn't fulfilling it.
Right.
I was just being busy. So losing everything got me very clear that this is the vision for my life.
And sometimes you need that. And sometimes I think more often than not, you feel alone within that space. You feel alone within the space of the pivot where, everybody looks like, especially on the social media, in the social space, in the media space, they look like they have it all together. They look like they were born that way, and that's the way that they were. And I'm very confident in the fact that I wouldn't be able to help people if I wasn't in the valley, right? If that wasn't something that happened to me. So one of the pinnacle moments was, your transition, your pivot from full-time employment into the entrepreneurial space. But then looking at it, again, one thing that I thought was interesting that you had said was about that it wasn't necessarily a willing thing, because entrepreneurship, isn't it scary? Isn't it a scary space?
If you really want to find out what you believe and who you are, go into entrepreneurship. It is the best personal development process you can ever go through.
I agree.
You'll find out if your words and your actions match. You'll find out what your real values are. You'll find out what your faith is all about, who you believe in, yourself and God. You'll find all that out in entrepreneurship. I now say losing my job was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I'm so grateful. It is. I'm not going to tell you it's been easy. I saw my money disappear like that overnight. Gone.
Yes.
But it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I am now in alignment and on the path to being the woman that I'm supposed to be first. And then making the impact to the women that I know I'm supposed to touch around the world.
Which I think is amazing. And let's continue to talk about that. The importance of, and I think that, we have a lot of debates and a lot of conversations, as you can imagine, when I visit a number of different women's groups about the struggle to be able to establish community amongst women. And I think that, that hurdle and that belief that there's not enough room at the table. There's not enough room at the table for all of us. There's not enough room at the table for those of us who look alike. There's not enough. There's already somebody who's at the table that's a female. There's already somebody who's at the table that's brown. There's already somebody who has the table that's blonde. There could only be one blonde at the table. And if I'm the blonde at the table, then there can't be another one, right?
It's so funny. I have this stupid grin on my face, as you guys can see, because now I have to admit, as a psychologist, I process and see things so differently than most people.
Right.
And when people say something like that, my first response is, I don't believe that at all.
Right.
I don't believe that at all. because I think someone has convinced us
Yes.
that we can't have every woman at the table.
Exactly.
Society has created this direct and indirect belief system that we can't work together, that women are catty, that we can't support. And I'm like, that's why the alliance got developed. I'm like, that's the biggest lie out there, and I'm going to bust it wide open.
Yes.
No, women of all races, all backgrounds, all ages, all knowledges and skills and resources can come together and make a huge global impact. So I want to tell every woman, you just have to have the desire and believe in yourself, and those opportunities will start to show up. So you can come to my table. I'll let you
come to the table. And that's the thing, because now, based on all of the things that you've been able to create, you have created your own table. We've created a space everyone can sit. And that's really what's going to be important. And I love that. I love that. So tell me about what's next. So I know that you had mentioned a couple things. You already have this amazing network. You've created all of this media, whether it be online, offline, radio. What is next for you?
So it's kind of funny, without going into a whole lot of details here, I'll give you a little hint. Mm-hmm. So I've always been a really big dreamer.
Okay.
I used to be told as a kid, Anita dreams too much. She's such a daydreamer. She thinks way out there. So in 1997, I was invited to be a part of one of the largest women's events ever to take place out here in California at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Okay.
So they had over 30, it was a Christian women's event called Daughters of the King.
Okay.
Had over 30,000 women at that event, and I was part of the leadership. Well, a couple of years ago, I think part of me losing my job was to fulfill that destiny, because at that event, I was told, Anita, you're going to lead something just like this. I remember standing in the Rose Bowl and looking at 30,000 women while I'm next to the stage and going, yeah, you'll never get me on a stage ever to talk to that many women. It ain't happening. You don't tell God things like that.
Yeah, no, right.
That's
not how it works. That's not how it works.
The next thing you know, you're being thrown in front of the stage all over the place, and now I realize I love being on stage. So I say that to say my next big thing is I've put my eyes on a really big event to bring women around the world to come together to literally learn how to become unlimited. Remove those limitations that we've had from our childhood that has been placed upon us through society, so it's inherited. And what we have self-imposed, self-inflicted upon ourselves that prevent us from living the life that God, source, and spirit designed us to have. And that is, I'm going to say God because that's the word I use. Living life abundantly and unlimited. So this event is about no longer are we as women settling for less. No longer are we willing to be broke, busted, and disgusted. No longer are we willing to be afraid, but instead we're going to take off our mask, let down our hair, put our hands on our gorgeous big hips, and say, I got this. Let's change our family, our community, and the world.
Oh, I love that.
So we've already talked to a major stadium, and we've got our date for 2020. So we've got some big stuff, big speakers coming in alignment. I went out to big speakers and said, I'd like to have you. I know you don't know me. We've already put together. We've already got the sponsor. And they're like, we're interested. And I'm like, really? So I feel like the favor of God is on me right now. A lot of people are saying yes to me.
Always. Well, I'm so excited because I think that is just the perfect, again, the combination and things that the combination I live by is that you cannot be successful offline if you solely live online. You have to be able to figure it out and be able to bring your community together, not necessarily just through a handheld or through a computer, but face to face and be able to see them. So I think that is completely wonderful between the passion that you have. And
I think this is what also came forward, if I can interject here real quickly, is so many of us as women of color, whether we're African American, Mexican American, Asian American, whatever, we don't have enough role models showing us that we can be successful, and spiritual, sassy, and rich, or whatever else we're doing.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. And it's burning on my heart to help all women, and especially women like me, we can have this, that we can be this, that we can have this, and we can do this with grace with queenly elegance,
with
confidence, and with the favor of God upon us. So that's why I'm putting all these women together for this kind of opportunity.
I love it. I love it. And that's so important to us here at This Is It TV as well. I mean, it's such a pleasure. If folks out there, and I know that there's so many women out there that need you in their lives, if there are folks out there that are interested in working with you, interested in connecting with you, where would they find that information?
You can go to my website. That's probably the best way to find me and what I do and what I offer, and that is www.dranitaMjackson.com. So it's DR, and then it's my name, Anita M, as in Michelle, the middle name, Jackson.com. And you can find out a lot about us. And I would invite you to check out the Unlimited Woman Six-Figure Club. That's probably the best way to get a lot of training and support. And
I love that. Now, is that on Facebook or is that?
That's actually in my website. So if you go to my website, there's a link to the club.
Okay, wonderful. And again, we suggest everybody follows, fans, and likes everything that she's got going on. We already do. We need to make sure that you are part of her community. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. I know that this will not be the last time that we see you.
Oh, no.
I got stuck with me.
I already know. Okay, let's talk. We need to talk. I got some stuff that you and I can do together. Let's
I am so excited. I am so excited. We're going to talk about that, but we'll be right back with more. This Is It TV with Cheldin Barlatt Rumer. Stay tuned.